Yo, what about the influencers that are wearing all the wrestling merch lately?
Listen, all right.
Kendall Jenner comes out with the NWO Wolfpack.
But you also like good promo. You're a man who likes good promo.
I love
If it means it's bringing attention to it, then.
But you know what it is? I don't know if I'm like a jealous. I'm not jealous, but like I'll see her wearing it. I'm like, bro, you weren't down. Like you weren't watching fucking Armageddon '99 in the fucking trenches with me.
Agreed. You weren't playing WWF Nitro with this shit,
you weren't crying when Austin got hit by the car.
Exactly. By Rikishi. No spoilers. My bad.
Bro,
no
but
spoilers.
like,
Bash at the Beach '98. You wasn't down with us.
Bro,
I feel you.
So I don't know if they were really down. So like I'll say to myself like I don't like that's what I think. So I get kind of bitter, but it's cool. It's attention. But at the same time, it takes away from the realness. Like they say, less is more. I agree. With us, it takes away from it because now she's wearing it, and like now everybody's gonna wear it, and it takes away from us.
And they don't even get the bars.
They don't even know what you're talking about. Like when somebody goes, "Yo, fucking Razor Ramon, sick shirt," they're like, "Yeah, okay." Like I don't know what you're talking about. I walked into work and I was rocking like a straight up like an old WWF Razor Ramon T-shirt, and it just said Chico across the bottom, and like somebody came in.
I'm pretty turned on right now.
Somebody came in and they were like, yo, that's a dope shirt. And I was like, thanks, man. I appreciate it. But like, I could tell they were saying it was a dope shirt because of the colors, like not because it was a man's face on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then another person came in, ironically, some just like random ass, like young 25-year-old just came in and was like, bro, Razor Ramon, bro. And like, we talked for like 20 minutes.
And they got it.
And I was like, yo, I respect that. I was like, you could be a woman walking in like straight up, like tits out and tell me nice shirt and not know it. I'll be like, bro, listen,
but like
you weren't
the dude
there.
that comes up to you is like
the man who comes up with his belly over his belt and goes, bro, I was there, 99, man. I'm like, this guy gets it. I'm like, you want to go out? Like,
yo, you remember when I was Al Snow for Halloween?
Bro,
did you have head?
Bro, I had the mannequin head.
Yeah.
And when I would go to the bar, I would have the mannequin head as like my lead blocker. It was my fullback, and I would put it down. And these dudes, they were in you know those black fraternities that do the stomping?
Yeah.
They were like the purple and the gold. They're like, yo, this motherfucker's Al Snow. What the fuck?
And they knew.
Yo, it made my night. They bought
knew.
me shots. We gave a shot to like the head too, and just like ruined the shot. Yo, it was the best.
He had to, like, it's funny because his costume probably wasn't the most recognized.
Yeah.
But it was the coolest one.
The ones that knew it. Yo, we got off the train and the one dude was like, yo, this guy is Al Snow.
Did you ever go as a wrestler for Halloween?
Every year I go as a wrestler, bro.
He does every year. As a kid, I was stone cold for like 2 straight years.
Bro, I'm not even kidding. I feel like that's the only thing you can be for Halloween if you're a grown man.
I was.
What is that?
You know what's funny?
I was Gold Dust one year. He retweeted me.
See, that must have been intense, though.
That's
you must have
fire.
really went. You must have really went for it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
With the
What's her
face.
name? Sammy did the makeup for me too. I had the whole fit.
Yeah, that must have been nuts.
You know what's a good costume? Kane.
Well,
Kane's a great costume.
Yeah. The best part is too. I don't know if you remember, but I was such a huge fan of Kane because like I was always like a huge fan of tag teams, and whenever, like, now that you get older, you realize the storyline is the storyline. They used to pair him up with the most random ass people, whether it was X-Pac, Rey Mysterio, like, yo, literally the smallest guys ever. It was like a Chihuahua dog with a pit bull.
Yeah.
And you kind of sat there and you were like, I fucking dig this. You were like, yo, this is fire.
Bro, even more current. I know, like, you were saying how, like, you don't really haven't watched, like, the
current
stuff.
Recently, no.
Team Hell No was him and Daniel Bryan. And, like,
That's dope. That was
one of
the,
like, the most over,
because,
like, Kane would be like, no, and he would be like, yes. And it was just like.
Yo, I don't know if you guys remember. I was probably like, we were probably like 9 or 10 years old, but there was a mask match, and it was between Kane and Vader, right? And on like
Vader lost.
Yo, Vader lost, but
yes.
But the entire match, I'm sitting there thinking like, yo, if Kane loses, we get to see his face. Bro, you saw Vader's face through his mask. It was just like
it was
literally
the same as Kane.
So like as you got older, you realized like there was no way Kane was ever gonna win that,
bro.
That and the fire match between him and Undertaker, the Inferno match, like, and all of a sudden Kane burns his arm, like. Bro, those shits were like, that was my childhood. Like, I love that.
Think about this. Austin fought Kane in a first blood match. Kane wore a fucking mask.
And all red. Literally, he had the sleeves at the time, too. Remember? So it was all red. Like,
he wore a mask. And here I am. Get him! Like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like,
bro, also, like, you can clip this, too, because it's going to happen one day. We need to have a Halloween podcast where all three of us dress as a Mick Foley character. Like, Dude Love, Mankind, Cactus Jack.
It's in the works for me. As that was gonna be one of my Halloween.
All right, dope.
I've been Sting, Al Snow, and Goldust.
Damn, you really like painting your face, huh?
You were an NWO character.
I was about to say, no, because that's dedication, man.
Were you an NWO character as well?
I was Sting. I was NWO
Oh,
Sting.
yeah.
I remember one. I don't even think it was Halloween. I think it was like a Wednesday. I went as like I went as like Raven. I just wore a leather jacket and I took a flannel. I put it around my waist and I would just walk around and people were like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "You don't know Raven?"
Wait. You went where? It was a Halloween. Where did you go?
Not even kidding. I might have just went to school. Like it might have been like a Halloween dance or something.
He said it was Wednesday.
It was probably like the middle of the week, and I was like, "Yo, people are gonna fuck with this." They were like, "Who are you?" I go, "Raven," and they go, "Like the bird?" I go, "No,
You know,
like,
I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling for a whole month during the Attitude Era because I told one of my teachers to suck it.
Yeah. Well, my dad also. My dad was like super cool about things, and he would like.
No, my parents were cool, but they just had to like.
Yeah.
In front of the teacher.
He would see me do it, and like I would do it 5 times, and he'd be like, all right. And then on the 6th time, he'd be like, enough. You don't know what you're talking about. Like you're literally telling people to suck your dick.
What about the things they would get away with, bro?
Yeah.
What does everybody want? Head.
Bro, think about it.
Val Venus.
Val Venus would have got canceled 3 weeks into the show.
Like
3 weeks
bro,
into the show.
His Titantron was a fucking hot
screw
dog.
going in.
It was a screw going in. It was.
Forget the Titantron. This man came out with a towel. Every week, I'm like, this guy's finally naked. I'm like, this guy's really has his dick out, like underneath that towel.
Eventually, it was gonna happen.
Eventually, I'm like,
choppy, your pee-pee.
They cut it off.
Yo, they got away with wild. Fucking DX with the Super Soaker.
Also, don't forget too, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, all their innuendos about smoking weed on their like little promos. Like after you get older and you start to watch it, they're like, "Yo, fucking Road Dogg was talking about chiefing mad hard like all the time." He's like, "After I get home, and I'm like sitting there, I go, "This guy talking about sucking dick?" I'm like, "What is he talking about?" And then you get older and you're like, "Bro, these guys are just smoking mad weed." Like,
But think about it. Our parents let us watch that, and my parents would watch too.
my dad loved it. My dad, I'll never forget. My dad took my brother to a SmackDown, and they were like 8 rows out, and all of a sudden, a wrestler goes into the crowd, and I was still kind of in it, but like not really. And my brother goes, "Yo, I'm on TV, watch." And I watch, and it's fucking Snitsky. And he's standing next to my brother. My brother's like 5'9", and my brother, I'll get footage of it. My brother's like this, like literally like this. He was like 17. He's like, "Bro, I'm watching these guys." I'm like, "This guy's huge." I'm like, "Holy shit, dude, it's insane."
Bro, you cried when Rikishi hit Stone Cold with the car.
I did
cried.
too. You cried? Me too, dude.
Listen, bro.
First of all, that was one of the most suspenseful moments. That was like a 9-month story arc.
Yo, let me tell you something. That whole it changed me, who I was.
Yep.
I'm not.
I agree.
I left that storyline a different person.
Good for you, dude. I'm glad. All right, I thought I was a loser for that.
Listen,
dude, I did too.
Bro, hold up. You know what the worst part is? It happened, right? And you know, like at the time, Austin was the man. I watched wrestling, right? I was a huge wrestling fan, but I was an Austin fan.
Yeah,
same,
right?
same.
I was thick and through. I liked Austin, and then I liked wrestling.
Yeah.
So, but I watched wrestling, right? So he got hit by the car, and you know he was supposed to fight later that night. So I'm like, oh, he's gonna come back, and he didn't come back. So I'm like, oh, he's on Monday night. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the like? I got upset. I'm like, where's Austin? Yo, I would cry. Like, where is he?
Yeah.
And then it became this whole storyline, and it took.
And then you found out 15 years later he just needed back surgery.
Bro,
because
it took a toll on me. It took a toll on me.
Well, yo, I don't know if you saw. Do you remember when he did come back the first night? A car came by and tried to hit him again, and Rikishi rolled the window down.
No, I don't think it was Rikishi. I don't think they showed who it was.
No, not the first one when he got hit. The first one he got hit,
I think it was just a car.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Oh, because I'm pretty sure somebody rolled the window down. It was Rikishi, and I remember watching it. I was like, bro, what is this?
Whoever it was that hit him was like public enemy number 1 in my mind. Like we were out to get him. At first it was The Rock, then they said it was Triple H. So all these people were fucking in my hit list.
I truly thought also that I truly did think that he got arrested when Vince brought the cops out like that night.
Oh yeah.
I thought he got. I thought that was. I was like, wow.
No,
I was like, wow, these guys are really taking it seriously.
You know what worried the fuck out of me? I was sick because it happened Monday, and I think SmackDown started when The Rock threw him over the bridge.
Oh yeah,
bro! I was like,
dude,
I was in school the next day.
That
like,
was
yo,
so insane.
I hope this motherfucker's all right. Like
he did those in windbreaker pants.
Bro.
Like he was straight up in the middle of a highway. Like he was just on the middle of a fucking bridge.
I was in school the next day, stressed as fuck. I was like,
one of the. I think. What do you think? Like, if you had to like go back to one moment, not one moment, but like one era, like not even the Attitude Era. Yeah, sure, but like, what is the group of wrestlers that you sit there and you think about, like that are like the peak wrestling experience for you?
My favorite era of wrestling is the build up from the Rumble of Stone Cold winning with Mike Tyson in the crowd.
Yeah.
Which is
with the beret on.
Which is WrestleMania 14.
Those are my earliest wrestling memories.
Yo,
in my
WrestleMania
mind.
14. First of all, the match that made me a wrestling fan was Bret Hart, Stone Cold,
Yeah.
WrestleMania 13. I have the chalk line jacket.
Yeah.
Right. WrestleMania 14 was Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold, Tyson in the crowd. Austin wins that Rumble, and then fast forward, he wins that Mania against HBK, and then the next year it's Rock. Austin won.
Yeah.
That's my number one draft pick. I can't tell you what the 2 seed is.
Yeah.
Year of wrestling, bro.
I think also like the one thing that I remember. Like,
Yo, hold on, real quick, right?
But that's not. I'm sorry, but like if you look at it, that's like our favorite wrestling, but that's not the best wrestling.
No,
It wasn't. Like honestly, bro,
I think the best wrestling era is right after Rock and Austin stopped. Like it was Michaels, Triple H.
Yo, so listen. This
That's
is
the best
exactly
era of wrestling.
So
Wait, but
in
hold
my
on.
opinion, one of my favorite like arcs of anything is when Jericho became the first undisputed champion by beating The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. Once that happened, I literally like as a child, I was like, all right, things are different.
It
I was like, this
became
is really
that
different.
era. It was the ruthless aggressive. That's the best era of wrestling.
Okay, so I need you to elaborate more. Do you mean like actual indie wrestling, or do you mean like storyline
Wrestling now and that wrestling and the wrestling now that we call indie, it's two different. Like the matches they had back then were way better.
Bro, I used to watch Sabu almost get paralyzed. Like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? This guy was getting destroyed.
First of all, nothing beat ECW.
Yeah. Oh no.
If we're being honest.
I till this day that was real, right?
Yo,
that was real.
My mom.
Part of it was.
I was gonna go to the place in Philly, where like the ECW arena was in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it fit like 300 people.
Yeah,
and like 900 were in there.
Yo, they used to run the shows on Saturdays, right? My mom was doing my laundry because I was fucking 8 or whatever I was.
Yeah.
She saw New Jack. Remember Original Gangster New
Yeah,
Jack?
yeah.
They would come out to the fucking hip hop and it would play the whole match.
Absolutely.
She saw him staple gun fucking Jerry Lynn. Remember Jerry Lynn?
Yep.
Jerry Lynn was like a fucking the number one wrestler in the world.
I don't know how that guy got a job
Bro,
anywhere. Like,
yo, she saw him get stapled, bust it open. My mom's
like,
like,
"You're not going."
is that where Angelo is taking you? My cousin now is 15.
Yeah.
I'm 8 or 9. She's like, you're not going to that. I was
It was
never
disappointing. But
It kinda altered my
So
life.
you like the ECW though?
loved it. Yo,
All right.
RVD is like
All right.
my top 3
So
favorite
listen to
wrestlers.
this, right? I have an RVD story, right? Met him once. Remember ESPN Zone in the city?
Yes.
They had that restaurant, right?
Yes.
They used to have a bunch of people come in sometimes.
Was
like,
it
just
that
to promo.
WWF cafe?
No, that's what it was. So basically,
was. Have you been
ESPN
there?
Zone was
I
the
went there one time.
WWF.
I met fuck, who was it? Ken Shamrock was there,
Yep.
and Albert.
Prince Albert.
No,
Prince Albert.
Prince Albert with
Yeah.
the fucking bolt in his lip.
I was tight because I thought I was gonna meet Trish Stratus. And that's my number one.
RVD
Trish Stratus
was
is
there.
the number one woman in my life.
Yeah, well, I love Trish because that's who we grew up with, but I'm kind of also like, I think like the first time I ever like really saw a pair of titties was when Sable had the handprints on her tits.
Oh yeah, remember that?
Like I think that was arguably
Yo,
like one of the first times I've ever seen tits.
Another thing that they got away with back then.
That's sexual harassment, right?
She was naked.
Dude, she was naked. And also, let's not forget Brock Lesnar's wife.
Yeah.
Like, and also tattooed on the Undertaker's neck.
Oh,
What's his
Sarah.
name? Sarah. Yeah, that whole thing. I remember seeing that and I was like, yo, I hope you're with this girl forever.
No,
and
and he's not.
Yeah, and he's
It's
not.
like-
So-
it's like-
and he covered it up like later. So I was always like, wow, all right, that was cool. So ESPN Zone
ESPN
used
Zone.
to be the WWF restaurant. They had their own restaurant. And then it became ESPN Zone, and then like they got rid of both. I remember going into the restaurant, and if you got a meal as a kid, they gave you a WWF lunchbox. It came in a lunchbox, and you got to keep it. And I'll never forget seeing RVD, and I'm like looking at him, and I go, RVD, what's up, man? And he just looked at me, and he just went like this 3 times, right?
my.
I'm not even kidding. I took you get a little cheeseburger, fries. I took my lunchbox. I went like this, emptied my food out right on the table, went right to him, and I got him to autograph it. I got home, and I'm not even kidding. I was so amped. I was like, Dad, I got this, blah, blah, blah. I looked at it. It was no exaggeration, a scribble. It looked like I did it. And then you realize as you get older, he was stoned off his ass.
Probably,
like
yeah.
stoned off his ass. And I was like, I'll never forget that. That was one of the better moments of my life. Seeing RVD, and him looking at me and going like this.
That's cool as shit.
And I was like, bro, nobody could touch me.
No.
I was like, I'm fucking
Bro,
the GOAT.
So they did when they brought back ECW. They were doing the ECW One Night Stands. You remember that in
Yeah.
like 06?
It was in like a ballroom, just like
It was
that.
at Hammerstein Ballroom, bro. They brought it back, and like this is when they started doing Money in the Bank. So RVD wins Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and he cashed it in. Yeah.
But he cashed it in. Like everyone at the time was like, Edge would like, you're the champ. He'd cash in on you
While you lost.
Well, me and you just had a
Yeah, you
30-minute
just
match.
lost. Yeah, you just lost.
And like you retain your title, then he'd cash in.
Yeah.
So RVD was the first one to be like, yo, it was Cena at the time. He's like, dude, I'm gonna cash in on you, but I'm gonna tell you where and I'm gonna tell you when. He's like, my rules, ECW, Hammerstein Ballroom.
That's insane,
Bro, and the place was going crazy. Fuck,
dude. John Cena in an ECW fucking arena.
Yo, Zap, I'm gonna send you the link to
please, man. I never seen that.
Bro,
no,
if you're listening to this, just watch the first 3 minutes. Cena is throwing his shirt into the crowd like he does, and they're throwing it back. They're like, "Fuck John Cena!" Like, yo, loud.
Yes.
The audio people can't even do anything about it, and RVD wins the belt, and the 1, 2, 3 that Heyman does is one of my favorite moments of all time.
Love that, man. Speaking of Heyman, did you like him? I thought he was a perfect heel at some points.
Bro, he's a dick in person.
Right.
Oh, tell him the Heyman story.
A dick in person.
Is he really? But you know what's crazy too? I don't know if you just saw the story that came out, but there was a guy who basically said that when he was wrestling for Heyman, his wife gave birth, and they didn't have medical insurance at the time, ECW, and he paid for like out of pocket like 75 grand.
Really?
Yeah. So like, but then like you watch the show and you're like, bro, this guy's a dick. Like this guy's just a straight up dick.
Well, let Dylan tell you.
You met him in real life.
One of my first jobs, I worked in the airport, right? I would greet people. It was like one of my first jobs. So I'm waiting for a flight to come out, and he's walking through the thing. Now, I could say whatever I want because my flight's not there. I don't have to act professional. I'm just chilling. So I'm like, yo, Paul, big fan. Nothing, right? I'm like, yo, Paul, big fan, bro. And he's like, thank you very much, sir. Mad nasty.
Son, that would have ruined
Rolled his eyes. I'm like, bro, like, why are you fucking it up for me?
You know what
right
the worst
now?
part is too? How old were you?
I was like 18, 19.
So, I mean, you got older. You probably realized that was very on brand of him.
It was.
Like, very on brand.
He was the same character.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, he might play it so well because he's just that guy.
Because,
Like,
he also came, like, the first time, don't forget, we're all the same age. So, like, the first time you see him really, like, in your prime is with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
It's the first time you really see
Right.
him. So, like, you kind of sit there and you're like, you even see Brock Lesnar's face where even he's like, all right, buddy, like take it down a notch. You know what I mean? Like he's getting a little, but then you realize it's a show. You kind of are like, all right, I got it. But like some of these guys are straight up like assholes. Some of them are mad nice dudes. Like they're gentle giants, all that. I remember meeting, what's his name? Bobby Lashley.
really.
And that was actually one of the more intimidating moments of my life. When a man's like back and traps are bigger than your entire body.
Yeah.
Guy's
like,
a fucking physical specimen.
You don't want to
He's
shake
a
his
champ
hand.
now for them.
Is he?
He just became
Oh
champ.
yeah, I read something that like he's a WrestleMania match, right? Like I think like they were. Can you guys actually explain to me the whole Vince thing right now about WrestleMania this year?
What do you
Like
mean?
he said that like he cut out like he basically denied the storyline that was going to be like the match.
No, what they're doing is what they did last year too.
Isn't it like different nights?
It's 2 different nights.
Yeah.
So it's a Saturday and Sunday thing, WrestleMania.
Instead
Really?
of one big event. Yeah.
Yeah, but because bro, WrestleMania is trash when it's one event.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like 7 hours.
I
bro.
know,
Yeah.
I know, it's really long.
I
really
went to
long.
the one where it was the women main evented. It was Ronda.
Yeah,
I know Ronda Rousey, so first name basis.
Yeah.
It was Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch, and they main evented. Bro, that match started after midnight.
yeah, it's too much, man.
We got into the arena, MetLife Stadium, at fucking 5:45. You're there for mad long.
It's too long, man.
So now what they did last year, they did it. I think COVID had to play a role with it too. They broke it up into 2 nights, and it's like you have your 2 main events.
Yeah.
and it was dope.
I think the best also, like I think I texted him about it too, is that the best wrestling event ever that you could enjoy with your friends and your family was always watching the Royal Rumble. It
Right.
was arguably the most exciting thing. And then you get older and you start betting money on who's the last pick, who's the first pick, and then all of a sudden you kind of sat there and you were like, all right, this guy came out first and he made it to like pick 28. He's not going to win. You knew he like wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
It was just the build up, and then all of a sudden 30 comes out. And like there were times where we were talking about it earlier where I would like look up on YouTube just like the best surprise appearances for Royal Rumbles. And like I'll never forget one of them. I probably was too young to even watch it. Seeing the Ultimate Warrior come out at pick 30 and fucking doing a 4-8 to the ring was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. And I was like juiced up, bro. I'm like watching it. I go, this is insane. I imagine being here. And like ever since then, I'm like, if I have children and when I have children, like I will put them onto wrestling. I will make sure they watch wrestling. I'll make sure my brother puts them on too. But like I will make sure they watch. It was such a huge part of our lives.
It
like
was.
I love. Did you guys wrestle at all? Like with
Yeah,
your
bro.
friends and shit, like at the park
yeah.
or
Of course you
whatever?
had to, yeah.
Bro, my brother knocked my tooth out wrestling.
That's what I like to hear.
Yo, the first time I met you.
How we became friends.
Yeah, tell him.
All right, so we knew each other.
We knew each other, but we
Alright.
weren't like homies
We
at
were
all.
like just on like a what's up, like basis.
Yo, I hit like a 18-month stretch where like I stunned people. Like I mean like legit.
Yeah, I used to people's elbow my mom when she was in bed sometimes.
Yeah, this is great.
I
This is how
stunted
you
my
know
mom
we were
before,
destined to
full
be.
stun.
Did you?
Yeah, she threw a shoe at me. I acted hurt. She got close, double bird and everything. Bang! I fucking flipped her off.
Double bird is worse than
Everything.
this fucking
I
stunt.
had to.
Yo, this is how you know we were destined to be best
So
friends.
we knew each other, but like we weren't cool. So hold up, this chair is sliding on me. All right, so we're like at the park. It was a snow day. We're at the park. I'm with my friends. He's with his friends, and like we had like ties, you know. So
We had
were
mutual
like,
friends.
Yeah, of
within the
course.
friend
So we were
group.
just chilling, and he's like, "Yo, what's good, bro?" And me being the fucking wrestling, I feel like it was good on my part.
It was like, yo, The Rock couldn't do a better sell
because
job on
listen,
this
he
stunner.
was stunnering. I've seen him stun like he would stunner little like little kids randomly. Like, yo, you go bang.
Hold on, I was like 16 at
Yeah,
the time
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
not,
Yeah,
I'm not
he was
doing it now.
25. He was killing it, dude.
But
He
listen,
would go to the public school in the corner and just start fucking roundhousing kids.
but they were not selling it. You know, like they were like, oh, like, what are you doing,
Yeah.
bro? So
The
I
Rock
had-
was the best sell job.
I had no
Easily.
idea he was gonna do it. He was like, "Yo, it's good." He stuttered me, and I sold it, and everybody went ape shit. I dropped to my knees and went over.
You do the flip. You do the Rock backflip, like the
Bro,
Rock.
he
like
did.
roll.
He did the Razor Ramon. You ever seen the one?
Yes.
Razor.
flat
Yes,
on my back,
yes,
bro. I
yeah.
landed flat on my back, and yo, everybody went ape shit. They're like, "Yo, you
got
and I
him
got
good,
up, I was
man.
Like, yo, you got me with a stunner, bro, and that was it.
That's the move.
That's how
Yo,
we became
the
cool.
best part is too. Like I think also we all loved wrestling because in the pool it was the only thing you can do where you couldn't hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could literally, bro. The amount of people I would choke slam off of
Oh,
the
yeah.
ledge of a pool
Man.
into a pool. I've never felt more power in my life at the age of 10.
You were like, man.
I was like genuinely grabbing people by their throat. I was like, dude, this is it. I was like, this is the pinnacle of my life. And then like also, I remember like I would love doing the pedigree to my brother and into pillows. Like I always thought it was the move. But then like I was a little kid and I think one of the first memories I have of wrestling is watching Owen Hart like tombstone Stone Cold and breaking his neck. Basically, and yo, I have you ever heard that story?
Yeah,
Like, you
of
know,
course.
Stone Cold says it on his podcast, I think. And basically, he told him, he goes, "Listen, Undertaker does the tombstone. He goes, he always does it with the knees down. He goes, you always go knees down.
He did like a.
He did it on his head. No, he did a power driver.
Owen
He
told
did
him
a
I
power
got
driver.
it.
He
He
did
said
like
I could
a-
do it.
Owen's like, no, I got it. Don't worry, you're not gonna hit the ground. And he goes, all right, man. Like he was new to wrestling, Stone Cold at the time. Like he wasn't that popular.
Well, he also trusted his.
He trusted his partner, bro. That was his
But
guy.
listen, Owen was a great wrestler.
He was.
Yeah.
I mean, he
was.
comes from a family of
Yeah.
that. Jim Ross said out loud, like he was like, I used to talk to Owen Hart all the time. He said it was one of the most regretful things that he's ever did in his life was doing that because he comes from a family of wrestlers, and that was like you almost killed somebody. And I remember Jim Ross was like, yeah, like we used to talk about it all the time. He could never look Stone Cold in the face ever again.
Yeah.
He never apologized. He never did anything.
Yo, Dill, who is the wackest wrestler of your like life? Who's like the wrestler that didn't do it for you at all?
Ooh,
Because I want to kind of continue this theme of people that are not going to come on the show because you just fucking,
these people are not. Oh, let me tell you something. These people are not allowed on the
I'm
show.
ready.
Daniel Bryan.
Yo,
He's not allowed on this
come
fucking
on,
show.
bro.
Hold on, let me get this. I need to get this right if I'm gonna do this.
Is it because he doesn't have electricity in his house? He has a solar panel on his roof.
Bro, he's a. All right, I told them this earlier. You know, like they say, the people's champ.
Yeah.
Like he was the geeks champ. He was
Yep.
doing it for the geeks.
Absolutely.
He's a geek, bro.
Yep.
He was never cool.
Yo, he had a moment though.
He did nothing for me.
I don't think he did.
He
And
didn't have a
I
moment.
knew enough about him too because shout out, I used to watch Total Divas. So like,
Yo, by the way, me
Hold
too.
up.
oh, I
Fucking
love that
lit.
show.
I met him though.
Did you?
I met the Bella twins,
Yeah.
John Cena and him, because they were all together.
Yeah,
They
double
were like
dating.
they were like a
Yeah.
package, you
Yeah.
know. They stayed at the hotel for SummerSlam when it was in Brooklyn. They're all really nice people, but
He just got into a fight with Triple H because he called the match early because he almost got hurt, and Daniel
Really?
Bryan came back and like bulldogged fucking Triple H, and Triple H is like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, you see my chest?
was
Like,
that
you
actual,
seen what my
was
pecs
that
look
actual
like?
fight?
No, he was dead serious too. He was
Really?
mad because he stopped the fight in the middle of it. Like Triple H made sure they stopped the fight. He came backstage and he like, bro, this guy almost got paralyzed. Like Triple H did the right thing.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, what are you doing? Like you could die. Like at any point. I know. Listen, you want to leave it all out there? Go for it. But like.
Yeah.
Like medical insurance ain't that cheap, all right? like, dude, you had to get fucking like his
Neck
things,
fusions.
like fusion. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
what are you doing? Like, that's a real thing. It's just crazy.
So Daniel Bryan, you don't.
Daniel
you don't follow
Bryan,
him?
Jack Swagger.
I agree.
Bro,
I didn't like
hold on,
him
hold on.
either.
So one day when they were staying in the city for SummerSlam that same year, it might have not been the same year, but Jack Swagger came to my coffee truck, got a bacon, egg, and cheese, and then he went and he ordered something from Starbucks, came back, I took a picture. First person I send it to, Dylan. He loves Jack Swagger.
Bro.
Do you you actually like him or no?
No, he's a fucking loser, bro.
Yeah.
He's horrible.
Yeah, I was about to say he's a dweeb.
Bro,
That's
you
a
know what
dweeb.
the worst part is? I could picture it happening now. Like I could watch it while it's happening. They had this guy. He like, oh, nice frame. Like, you know, he's got size. He's a good wrestler. Vince probably thought in his head with his writers, like, yo, this guy's we got to make this guy look cool somehow.
It's like
and
Drago.
one of his fucking moron writers, oh, I get it. We'll just name him Jack Swagger. Get it, Swagger? Oh. Yo, there's no.
I agree with that. I actually
There's
didn't even
not
put that
an
together.
ounce of cool in that guy's body.
Yeah,
not an
he's
ounce
a
of cool.
dweeb.
Bro, I have boiled water cooler than that guy. Bro, that guy is not cool.
I liked. A lot of people didn't like him, and it was very short lived. But I saw what's his name without his mask on. Remember Hurricane?
He was
Yeah.
cool.
Bro, all right, but here's the thing. He was cool for like a little bit, but then people were it was a gimmick, you know, after a while.
Yeah.
Like he was a superhero.
It don't last forever.
But like I used to love when he come out with a cape. Stand back. It's a hurricane
And
coming
how
through.
cool was
like,
the
I used
whole,
to love that shit.
Who was his
Rosie.
Yes, Rosie.
Wow,
yes,
shit, the
yes,
shit. Yo,
yeah.
how cool is that?
So good, man. I used to
Superhero
love
in
it.
training?
But I remember seeing him too, like without his mask, and like I'll never forget like being like, well, that ruined it. I was like, that just fucking ruined everything.
This might not be Dean Malenko.
Oh God!
Get the
dude,
fuck
Dean
outta here,
Malenko.
bro.
You know who always quoted? I think
the-
I don't know if he's dead now, but like, do you remember who? Do you remember like what was it? It was Chris Benoit, who's dead.
Malenko.
Eddie Guerrero, Chavo,
Jericho,
Perry Saturn.
The Radicals.
Yeah,
weren't they?
yeah. I remember watching it and going like, "Damn, poor Perry Saturn, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about this guy."
Bro.
Like, bro, I was a huge Eddie Guerrero fan, huge. Chavo, I thought was just like there. He was just there. Chris Benoit, like, I mean, besides being a real piece of shit at the end of his life, clearly, was a crazy wrestler. I used to crippler crossface like anybody who was on a floor. Like if you were in my living room laying down watching TV, I just slowly roll up to you, take your arm, put it between my leg, and just fucking rip your face off.
Have you ever watched the Vice show Dark Side of the Ring?
About Chris Benoit?
I mean, there's a bunch
general.
of crazy
I saw his it was an excerpt of that on Vice's YouTube channel. It was like a 17
If you didn't watch
thing.
it, you have to watch that.
Bro,
Really?
those are
Yeah.
fucking.
Every episode is great.
Wow.
Yo,
Wait, who were a couple of them?
They did one on the Montreal Screwjob without WWE involved.
Yeah.
So it was like.
Well, that I
really-
actually saw. Was that through Vice?
That was through Vice.
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
of them
So
were
I
Vice.
saw that because they actually did interview. Like they were talking about Brett. Like they were just talking about how he genuinely, like, bro, he was the pinnacle of wrestling at that point, and the fact that like he really held a resentment towards Vince. Like, I'm not saying maybe till now, but like.
Well, he was like he was the wrestler's wrestler.
Yeah.
Like he was
He
an
took pride in
actual
it.
like he believed in all
In
that.
he believed in the technical ability of wrestling.
Right.
Like his whole family did. Like that entire family was really technically sound in wrestling, and they did it right.
You know what it is? I feel like he's a very prideful guy, Brett. Just
Yeah.
by watching, like he loves his country. He don't want to lose in Montreal.
I know.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's a
yeah.
lot of things he took a little too seriously.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you can't blame Vince. Like you're not.
You're trying to
you're not
sell
winning the
tickets.
title and leaving.
No,
That's
you're
not happening,
trying to
bro.
sell tickets, dude. Like, yo,
That's
what do
his
you-
business.
Exactly. That's his business.
Yo, and think about what that birthed too, bro. That was really like
Yeah.
that changed the whole game too.
The one thing that I kind of always like got a little bothered with was I didn't like how basically wrestling turned into like bigger than wrestling. Like I think now wrestling is great like in terms of technical ability. I think there's a lot of like actually athletic people who are wrestlers.
Yeah.
Where like I used to love watching wrestling and watching Jake the Snake rip a fucking Newport and come out with a snake on his back and literally have a pot belly and like all of a sudden win 4 fucking matches in a row. And I'm like,
and also cut like the best promos by just talking like
Like,
this
literally
when you were
talking
looking
like
through
this.
the
But that's
Yeah.
what makes wrestling what it is. I'd rather
Yeah.
that than fucking.
I don't give a shit if you could do
Flying
7
springboard,
backflips.
get
Yeah.
him! Like,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember also like I used to love I don't know what's his name, R-Truth now, but it was K Quick, right? It was K Quick. I remember when that was a thing, I was like, bro, my guy is out here. Like my guy is really doing some damage. And then didn't what's his name also like not kill somebody, but he hurt somebody in the ring, D'Lo Brown.
Draws.
Yeah.
He paralyzed
him, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I remember
Well,
that.
there's a dark side on the ring on that one too.
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah, because that
No,
shit
it's a really
was-
interesting series, man.
Yeah, because I remember watching that and going like, damn, D'Lo Brown was like one of the first people I ever saw do a frog splash. And then like you're kind of like, wow, tough break, buddy.
Yeah.
Kind of paralyzed somebody.
You see, it's funny though because like we know wrestling is fake, right?
I don't know. Is it fake? You mean the storyline is fake?
We know it's scripted. They're not really punching each other. We know it's fake,
Listen,
right?
but like these guys take a beating.
No, they do.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
But it's in overall, it's scripted.
Yeah,
right?
it's fake. Yeah.
We
It's
know these.
predetermined.
Yeah, we know they're
right.
not really fighting. You know, so I know that. I'm still willing as a grown man. I'm still willing. I'm here to watch. Give me something. Think about it. Let's say something happened to Stone Cold. I know the character so well. I know what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
I know that character. Now they're not characters. They're people. You know, they're just people. They're like,
agree.
oh, this guy wants to win this match.
100%.
They're not characters.
Absolutely.
I'm not invested in these guys.
Bro,
Absolutely.
Undertaker didn't do interviews until like 8 months ago.
Absolutely.
Like, he was
They're
always
characters.
He
And
I
was
saw
always-
Undertaker on Joe Rogan. I go, why is this guy talking so
Bro,
much?
it was
Yeah.
so
Dude,
good.
shut up. I go, you're literally the man of death.
And
The
the
dead
one
man.
thing I don't like about Rogan is I feel like he buries wrestling way too much.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
He has,
also,
like,
that's the one thing so like, I mean, you want Rogan on the podcast, obviously, so you won't go bad at
No, I love Rogan's great.
Rogan's
Yeah,
the king.
yeah.
But the only thing that always bothered me about like listening to Rogan talk about wrestling was I know the people who are purists in terms of fighters. Like you don't think the Gracie brothers are like, yeah, WWE's the fucking real deal. Like
Yeah.
I understand it. Like I know what you're talking about. But like wrestling serves a purpose. Like it's for a reason. It's
Yeah.
not for fucking like grown ass men to like be like, oh, like that's a real thing.
Well,
It's a show.
It's a show. It's literally entertainment.
You
Yeah.
need characters.
Yeah.
I say it, and they try to make it more real because people say it's fake, and while they do that, they get away
You
from
water it down. You're just
what it
watering
should
it
be.
down.
Yep.
But yo, think about this. Everything is wrestling in a way.
Yeah.
And the UFC, when
Yeah.
did they really explode? When people are cutting fucking promos.
Yep.
Like Chael Sonnen, he goes, Anderson Silva, you're a piece of shit, or whatever the fuck the
Yeah.
promo was that he cut. And then it's like, you know, you get Brock Lesnar, he's cutting promos on the companies that he's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to drink a Coors Light because Natty Light or Bud Light doesn't
It's
pay me.
insane, dude.
It's like everything. Bro, Connor, what is Connor? He's a wrestler.
Yeah, but also don't forget too, like just like we talked about with Ronaldo and like all these people, eventually they become like billboards. Like they become just straight up like walking advertisements.
Right.
That's the reason why you build your brand, is to be able to make money off of like being like, yeah, you know, if I drink anything, it's a Coke. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, first of all, you haven't had fucking sugar in like 8 years. You're not
Yeah.
drinking
You're
anything.
not doing that,
like you're
yeah.
not doing anything. So
Yep.
there was a guy going back to like just old school wrestlers, but last week I was at a bar where I live in the Hamptons, and I'm at the bar and I'm talking to some random guy. He's like probably like in his 60s, probably like 61, 62. Nice guy. And he lived in Huntington. So he went to Ward Melville, and he went to school with Mick Foley and Kevin James because
Wow.
they were on the wrestling team together at Ward Melville. He told me that when they were in Port Jeff one day, he was drunk driving and he hit a car dead on, like he T-boned it, and it was Mick Foley, and it knocked out his 2 front teeth. And that was the first time he ever lost his teeth. And like he literally thought he killed him. And he was like, yo, I thought I killed Mick Foley. Like he wasn't Mick Foley at the
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He
Right.
wasn't like who he was.
Yeah.
So like I'll never forget when he was telling me that. He goes, yeah, you know Mick Foley, right? And I'm looking at him and I go, bro, you're talking to me about my childhood. You almost
Yeah.
killed my childhood? I go, I watched that man fall off a Hell in a Cell and fucking like
Get up and come
literally
back.
get up and just be like, no, we're not done yet. It's like, no, even fucking everybody was like, no, you're done. Like just go home. Like you got thumbtacks sticking out of your neck. You just chill out, man. I'm telling you, like some of these things that you hear about, and also we're older now, so like that, it kind of makes the allure of these people, you respect them even more. I respect Stone Cold even more hearing him talk. Like when you hear him talk about like how seriously he took his craft, I love that shit, because Stone Cold was the guy who goes to wrestling and is like, I'm just gonna drink beer and wing it.
Yeah.
That's what you thought he was.
Yeah.
And it was crazy.
Yo, what about this comparison? The Biggie documentary just dropped recently on Netflix. It's tremendous. And I feel like Biggie and Stone Cold are on the same level.
It's funny. As you said, I looked at both pictures.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even plan that, but they are two of like my favorite people. But think about it, yo. Biggie dropped Party and Bullshit in 92, dies in 97.
Yeah.
Right? Stone Cold, the Austin 316 promo is 96. Gets hit by Rikishi. He's out of WWE, and then like by 03, he's done.
Yeah.
Yo, a lot of similarities. between the
Absolutely,
two.
yeah.
Like the duration of their careers.
Huge
and the-
different. One's dead. Huge
But-
difference.
Right, but
But
what
the
I'm saying,
length of
like
the career.
the length of their career is very, very fucking similar because
Yeah.
they're both considered like during your
The
a lot
best
of
of the
people's
best, yeah.
Right, they're like Mount Rushmore.
you know what it
people.
is? You know, I feel like
How good was that?
that was good.
Let's
That was
go,
very good.
baby.
And I'm gonna make a point
a
that
good one.
supports it. with Biggie, they say like the whole the famous thing, you're nobody till somebody kills you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like he was great, right? But once you die, like you reach another level.
Yeah, of course.
Because eventually everybody gets old and phases out. It most likely might have happened to him.
Yep.
So that never got to happen. So he's forever immortalized.
His aura and his legend.
Now
just
Austin, we've watched Taker get old. We've watched Triple H get old. Goldberg. These guys, they fight now. It's not as big of a deal. Austin retired and never came back. So what we got is what he was. It's greatness, and it was never able to fizzle out. Because we got him when he was hot. And
I relate Stone Cold to basically to Isaiah Thomas, OG Isaiah Thomas, where he played until he was 32 years old and then was just like, oh, I'm fucking out of here. He's like, I played 10 years in Detroit. I won my championship. He goes, I'm leaving. Meanwhile, you got basketball players. You got, Jason Kidd's hitting threes at 42 years old in the Knicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got people who are trying to keep their careers alive.
What about this one? What about Megatron and Barry Sanders?
Those are my favorite examples of anybody going out on a high note. Those are my favorite things ever. I mean,
those guys were all pros, and fucking Barry Sanders won MVP. He's like, I'm out, yo. I'm not doing this.
I love that
anymore.
so much, though. You know why, though? Is because Barry Sanders straight up looked everybody dead in the face and said, the Lions have put nobody around me. I can break every record in this league, and I refuse to because I'm good. I'm done. He goes, I have nothing to prove. I know who I am. And now he's just the man.
Is that the most gangster shit in sports?
It's more gangster than Calvin Johnson doing what he did. Calvin Johnson, don't forget also, he retired, 20, 21 maybe? It was 6 years ago,
younger,
right?
No?
Yeah. Well, he just made the Hall of Fame this year, so it was 5 years ago.
So you kind of sit there and you're like, all right, it was a year into a huge contract. And you're kind of sitting there, you're like, dude, what are you doing? We all know you as Megatron. You're on the cover of Madden. Yo, you're a beast. You could be the next guy. And then he retires. And you're like, oh, well, that's kind of a buzzkill. 5 years pass. You're like, kind of get it.
Yeah.
Kind of get it. Not only that, because you know why? Now we're talking about him.
Yeah.
As much as I love and think Michael Irvin's one of the better receivers. And I'm not talking about Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're talking about Calvin Johnson, who had a 7-year career. And that was the craziest part. I remember telling Alan, a kid who we went to school with, Julio Jones got drafted. What was it? The same draft as Cam and Patrick Peterson, right?
Yeah, 2011.
I'll never forget saying somebody Yanni Gavalis. He said to me, he's like, "Yo, listen, Cam Newton's gonna have a better career than Julio Jones and Patrick Peterson." I looked him dead in the face. I said, "Absolutely not." I said, "Yo, do you see these guys how they're made up? 6 years, maybe." 6, 7 years. Julio Jones for the next 8 years can be a number 2 on a team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Patrick Peterson is going to be playing until he's 39 years old. And these guys, you kind of see how they're built. You were just saying how some of these safeties and cornerbacks, they're small. Dude, they take less of a beating. You know what I mean? They have less body to hurt. So Barry Sanders is the best, though, to go out on his own terms. It's my favorite thing ever.
It's like Khabib, too. Undefeated.
Do you think so?
Bro, he went out undefeated.
Okay, so
selfish. I want him to come back. But
I want him to come back. Also, I respect that he doesn't. That he's not because of the situation with his dad and all that. And I respect that because I love we're sports fans and combat sport, whatever it is. We're sports fans. You look at them as if they're ours. These people are ours. They're our property. You know what I mean? You look at our team that we root for. They're ours. They should play until we tell them to stop. And then Khabib just goes, Khabib couldn't. I don't think Khabib's net worth is $100 million.
He's worth a
no, but I looked it up.
now.
I looked it up the other day because I was curious. He's probably at 40 mil, 30. You got to realize, bro, he wasn't cashing out that much. But then you realize you're it's not about the money, man. This guy was wrestling bears as a kid.
Well, also you got to remember that he's nothing like Conor and Floyd, where. Bro,
don't live flash.
40 mil for him is I would have been good with 4 mil.
Exactly.
So
exactly,
he's still apparently he still has a Toyota pickup.
But I respect shit like that, though.
Right, but I'm saying he's very minimal, low key.
I love that.
Where he doesn't really. That's kind of how I am too.
Me too.
Same. The coolest shit I want to buy, bro. I resent jewelry. You ever notice I wear no jewelry? I have this rope and this thing here.
Yeah,
that's it.
The most I ever used to wear, I used to rock puka shells when I was 14. And then I was and then some girl was like, "Oh, I don't like those." I go, "Yeah, me neither." I just fucking ripped them off my neck. But I don't wear watches. I don't wear a bracelet. I don't wear anything.
I have a $2,500 Movado. My parents got me for Christmas 3 years ago. I wore it maybe twice. Once was Danny's bachelor party in Miami, and then the other time was Dom's bachelor party when we went to Kiki on the river.
Yeah.
Besides that, I don't like jewelry, man, because from a young age, it kind of scarred me, bro. I was like a gambling addict.
Yeah.
And I had to pawn off my own jewelry to pay bookies and shit.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I'm like, yo, I never want to be so attached to something like that.
Yeah.
Where like it fucked up relationships I had with family, bro. It's like, yo, this is your grandfather's thing. And like, I'm not proud that I did it, but it's part of my story and my journey. Where like now it's like, bro, if you were to pull up here and be like, yo, here's this new Rolex, I'd be like, is it cool if we give it to Alan? Like that doesn't appeal to me.
Shit, you got to give it to me. The fuck,
right?
To Dylan, like
You can wear it with the cactus.
bro,
it's
just like it's just not like my thing, man. I just don't like jewelry.
But also,
like that.
I think also it's about like how you are. Like I'm a minimalist. Also, like if I had $100 million today, I would keep my car. I drive a 2019 Honda Accord. I would keep my car.
I wouldn't.
No, I know, but like that's also the difference though. Is like I don't care.
But I wouldn't buy a crazy car.
Yeah. No, you'd buy a new car.
I'd buy a new cheap.
Yeah, you'd buy a new car.
It's not a crazy car.
No, but like there's people out there who are like, yo, first thing I'm buying is a car. I go, but like, dude, why? Like you can't. It's not like you could just like pull it out of your pocket. Like it doesn't matter to me. And like to some people who are car people, I respect it.
Right.
I respect it.
If
completely.
I got $100 million tomorrow, the first thing I'm doing, no bullshit, I'm going straight to Vegas.
Yeah.
Private jet. I'm getting all my buddies. You guys included, everyone in this room. Getting a couple other people. And I'm probably going to give each of you like $10K to like gamble it.
Yeah.
And I want to get out to like spend like $250,000 on that weekend.
Yeah.
Just to have people tell me that I'm stupid with my money.
Absolutely.
And I could just slap them with fucking Lincolns and
that's all
fucking,
you know, like literally like a
Grants and
10K, like a
Jeffersons.
10K pile, right?
You know
Yeah,
what the
just be
crazy? You know what the crazy part is? I wouldn't gamble any of that 10K.
Well, I'd pocket all of it.
I'd be like, thanks, bro.
Not only that, dude, I'd literally take that 10K, I'd get it in chips, and then for the whole night, like throughout the rest of the trip, I'd slowly keep going up to my room, stack upstairs, stack upstairs, stack upstairs. I'd walk out, I'd be like, yo, I got 11 grand. I'm like, yo, good shit. I wouldn't gamble any of it.
You think if I had $100 million, you'd ever take an L on the sneaker app?
I'd hope not. 500 mil, no.
What do you mean? He'd have his own sneaker app.
Bro, 100 mil, yeah.
He'd have his own sneaker app.